roll up to the party, roll up to the party, roll up to the party, roll up to the lit. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party, roll up to the party, roll up to the lit. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party, roll up to the party, roll up to the
Good morning, and welcome to this morning's Celtic news. I'm not expecting a lot of people online for this one because it is an unannounced one due to the fact that I was having a lie in this morning. So the big news this morning is the fact that Brendan Rodgers has wasted absolutely no time whatsoever in laying down the law to the Celtic squad. It came out this morning that the reason that Bernabei was missing from the team last weekend is he missed a couple of meetings. He slept in and then he bombed him out the Celtic squad. And he's also told Rio Hatate, he sent Rio Hatate a warning also, and he says that he'll bench him again if he doesn't improve. So they need to up their game. Brendan is making sure that the squad are as good as they can be. He's sent out warnings to the players to make sure that they're on time. Bernabei wasn't on time for one of the morning meetings, and he basically bombed him out the team also. So what does that say about Brendan? What does it say about the players? And what does it say more about what happened last season? Were they a bit lax last season? Let's get some morning hails first. Kevin's on, Paul Baird's on, and Tam Max on. Cheers for being online, guys. I'm not expecting too many people to be on this morning, but let's get back into the news. So Bernabei, Bernabei, pre-season, you thought that he was going to get a run in the team. But, at hardline, Brendan Rodgers said that Bernabei stepped out of line ahead of the Celtic opener last week. He says the left-back was late for a team meeting after Slating in. He was left out all the Flag Day celebrations over Ross County. He's basically come and said it's not acceptable. He said not being punctual and not being on time for pre-match gathering was not acceptable. The 22-year-old paid the price and then is out of the team. So it'll be interesting to see if Bernabei can force his way back into the team this week. And he basically needs to try and get Greg Taylor at the team. Can he do that? Another one that was left out the team. Brendan was also going on about it, says there's been a couple of minor incidents since the summer when Rodgers made it clear that he will not tolerate players and that they will be disciplined and totally professional at all times. Now, if you watched a couple of weeks ago, the Greg Taylor and Kalmak interview on Celtic TV, if you went up with Celtic TV and you seen the Greg Taylor interview Callum McGregor, and one of the things that they two were joking about, so it obviously happened during pre-season, was don't be late. Do not be late for any. He asked Greg Taylor asked Kalmak, what advice would you give to players? And he said, just do your best in training and do not be late. And they were laughing about it. So, yeah, maybe Rio Hatate's been late during the anyway, you don't know. You wouldn't think he's been late, but he has told Rio Hatate to up his game. The Japanese midfield player was outstanding performer last season. He was one that he said if there's any money going to come in for, it's probably going to be Rio Hatate. Brendan Rodgers has turned around to Rio Hatate and said it is not in my contract to play any player, which is an interesting one. He's now challenged this 25-year-old who was a key man last season. He says he's challenged them. He says, you were treble winners last season. That's last season. You need to prove it. You need to prove yourself all over again. And especially at a time where players appear to be stalling on new deals. So have Celtic offered Hatate a new deal and he's stalling on it? We don't know this. We don't know. There's nothing being confirmed. No, it's not going to be confirmed or denied by the club. But Rodgers did come out and said, the aforementioned, it's not in my contract to play any player. He's got 3 years on his contract, Hatate, so there's no rush. There's a new cycle, a new manager come in. He's got to prove himself. He's not really worried about Hatate and his situation. So 3 years on his contract. It's not as if he's going to run his contract out and leave for nothing. What he wants to do, he wants the players. He wants to bring out the best energy of the players. He wants to bring out the best mentality, and he wants them to be efficient on how they work, and that's how he works. So tell me your thoughts in the comments about Rio Hatate getting a slap on the wrists. Rio Hatate has been morning long. It's all right. I'm late this morning. That's why I didn't do a video. That's why I'm doing the live instead, because it's a lot quicker to do the lives, as I've said before. Right? Tell me in the comments what you think about Rio Hatate and Bernabei getting pumped out of the team due to the fact that they looks like they've not been towing the line. Hatate's taking a bit of a grump, and people have been suggesting that he wants out. People have also suggested that he's not signing a new contract. There's nothing to be confirmed about that. There's not been anything to say. Rio still has 3 years of his contract left. The reason that the other two Japanese guys got extension to the contracts is they only had 2 years left on their contracts. So it was good time to give Kyogo and Dyson the extra years on their contract. When it comes to Rio Hatate, Brendan says, it's you've got to prove himself. He's got to prove himself. So let's get to some of the comments. First of all, there's been better players than Hatate at just one. So good morning, hail. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. Hatate, it's Hatate I'm worried about. Why would you worry about Hatate? I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to up his game. I think Brendan will make sure that he ups his game as a player, and yeah, maybe the baby keep him up on it. Yeah, you never know. Hail from Tenerife. How is Tenerife this morning? Who do you want in the Champions League draw? There's a couple of weeks away from the Champions League draw yet, so we'll look at that next time. Looking fresh this morning. That's why I'm doing the video now and not earlier, because I wasn't looking fresh then. Morning, Lorna. Get as many people on as we come. We have Gustav yet. Yes. No. But I've got a funny feeling Celtic are going to bring in 2 defenders at once. There's just something in the background. Just it's going to be. It's I don't know. I think Celtic are going to pull a right rabbit out of the hat yet with that one. And hail. There's been better players than Hatate. Hail, troops. Hail. Let's run through as many of these comments as possible on the short live. Seen it through the links with Tottenham. Nah. I think I don't get all this about Rio Hatate. Last season, he gave the ball away more than any other player. He rubbish anyway. I think that's the fact that when you seen him, especially James Forrest's testimony, or it wasn't, it was, was it? And he gave the ball away. And, Brendan will say, look, that's not acceptable. You need to up your game. You can't be lackadaisical at all. It's like, look, if he's going to go and Brendan says, yeah, on you go, and we get 30 million for him, so be it. But we do need to replace him. Brendan has said he's not getting chased out the door. Hatate has been lazy in training, and it's up to Brendan to kick his arse if he's on an ego trip. Yeah, he will, and that's the good thing about it. It has laid down the gauntlet to him. It's something I've always said since the manager has come back. I thought it's for possession reasons. Scotland, perfect. That's what I like to hear. It's a place that if things change with us, we might actually go there for a month during February, because the weather's crap here in February. We got 6 weeks of absolute rubbish weather, and it's about February time. Anyway, Hatate pining for Ange. Nah, I don't think about it. Martin says hail, folks, and it's Scotland and Tenerife. Robert says that he thought that Hatate was dropped for possession reasons. There's probably every chance of that. So what other Celtic news is about this morning? There's not a lot. There's obviously everyone's talking about the Hatate situation, purely for the fact that the manager spoke about it at his press conference. There's one that keeps coming back up. The Manchester City player, when it comes to Celtic transfers, James McAtee. It's still, according to reports, Celtic are still sniffing about there, but it's believed there are around about anything between 20 and 30 clubs have shown an interest in the 20-year-old player. So Celtic do face a battle. But people are saying, a lot of the reports I'm saying, it's this lad is no joke, is one of them. He is that good. He's an attacking midfield player. At 20-year-old, he got a lot of praise from Pep Guardiola after Manchester City turned down a loan spell in 2022. Pep Guardiola did go on to say, he says, you cannot forget at that time, he was only 19, and training every day is so important for him. So it'll be interesting to see if anything happens for that. Do we really need another midfield player? Do we really need, what's this about Harry Suter? No idea. Hatate wasn't dropped, Turnbull shone and was picked. It is as simple as that. But you know, the media in Scotland are going to say, uh, I'm looking for a label. uh, let's see how to set a target for them. Like I have no idea. Anyway, Hatate was dropped and Turnbull shone and was picked. It is as simple as that. Turnbull took pre-season serious, and he knew exactly what the manager was like. He knew the way that Brendan was going to come in, and Brendan did sit down with all the players. The fact that Hatate, maybe it was lost in translation. Maybe get your finger out your jacksie does not translate very well into Japanese. Anyway, Harry Maguire is worth the price tag. The Scottish Harry Maguire. Anyway, loan deal apparently, but there were a few clubs. Yep, it is. It's going to be. It's looking like a loan deal, but he had. He was actually only priced at around about 3 million about a season ago. So anyway, what's going on with him? I have no idea of that. Midfield not required. We have other priorities. We do have other pros. If you come to Tenerife in February, catch you at the Los Cristianos at the Hoops Bar. Yes, definitely, Richard. If I'm there, it'll be February. February. Yeah, you said that. Yeah, I would be going to the Hoops Bar and we're probably doing a couple of videos from there. Anyway, Rangers couldn't afford them. It went to Leicester for about 15 million. Evening, guys. Evening? Evening? What time is it with you? It's 11 o'clock with us here. It's 12 o'clock, actually. It's 12 o'clock. So there we go. We need a left back, 2 centre halves priority, not to mention a goalie. I still have a sneaky feeling that Celtic are going to go out and do a double or triple signing day. They're just going to get all sneaked in the back door and they're going to get players in and they're going to do a big announcement. Or are they going to do what they've done before and just drip feed us? It seems to be the Celtic way just now, drip feed us information and drip feed us signings. 8 p.m. in Australia. There we go. Always talk about midfielders just fuels the speculation that Hatate is off. Goalkeeper is a must, says Peter King. I wouldn't mind seeing Celtic look for the former Hibs keeper as an option in goal. Goalkeeper. I've no idea what's going to go on with the situation with the goalkeeper. It's obviously we're looking at the season, and he is going to go with Hart as number one, unless we go out and spend silly money. Is Hart prepared to go to number two? He has said that Bain is more than capable of being a number two stroke three, which does suggest that maybe Benji Siegrist might go out on loan. Right, let's do a quick update on Celtic news. Rodgers to address the Hatate situation. The Scotsman, there we go. Who's this? This is an old story, is it not? There seems to be an awful lot of old stories coming out again, getting regurgitated. Is that just lazy journalism back in Scotland? Yeah. It's Alan Stubbs. Alan Stubbs had this interview a couple of weeks ago in the Scotsman newspaper. I've regurgitated it this morning. Stubbs, who won 2 championships in 5 years at Celtic, remember, and Stubbs was a player that he could cross a ball diagonally at Celtic. He believed Celtic will remain title favourites and they will land their 12th title in 13 seasons. He's tipped the club to bring in some big name signings before the transfer window closes on September the 1st, said Stubbs. I spoke with a reporter maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago and he asked me for my predictions, how the season will go, told Stubbs, and he says Celtic will win the league again. Fly the flag. We'll start singing it already. Anyway, right. Are Celtic bigger than any player? Celtic are bigger than any player. No hands in the chat this morning. Yeah, it's right. I'll just keep it about that. No, there doesn't seem to be. It's Gyro Day. It is Gyro Day. Said it before. Warsaw number 1 in a heartbeat. Yes. Hail says Tony. Soon Odin will give Brendan more midfield choices. Yes, he will. I think, well, Odin's kind of in the team already. But you've got to remember as well, midfield, we've still got Marco to come back. So, you know, as a midfield, as an area of the pitch, it doesn't over concern me. I do think we need a striker. Personally, I think we need to get another striker in. We need a good keeper for Europe because Hart's got too many too many sliddings on anyway. And then we need cover for Starfelt leaving. So it's whether we bring in one or bring in two. How did people find out about Bernabei not turning up at the squad meeting? The media asked them, and the papers have reported it, and Scottish media have reported it also. It isn't a big story. The Scottish media are trying to paint it. Yeah, it's not really a big story. I mean, it was the first game of the season. He slept in for Celtic. Always go to the hotels, and you've got to remember it was Brendan Rodgers that started the whole thing about Celtic going to the hotel the night before games. Celtic never used to do that. You know, the players used to rock up to Celtic Park like they have done for 100 odd years before. The Celtic players would rock up to Celtic Park. Brendan wanted to get us that more professional, like a lot of the clubs around Europe and a lot of the big clubs down south, and take the players away, make sure that the players were all together the night before a match, and then they would have their morning teeth briefing at the hotel. So it looks like Bernabei slept in and missed the team meeting that was probably at breakfast time, and he got his books for it that day. When it comes to Hatate, he's basically just tell Hatate that he needs a little rocket up his jacksie and he needs to perform a bit better if he wants to get into the team. Love to get a ball playing Spanish keeper. Yes, that'd be good. Saw the article linked to Real Madrid number 2. I've not seen that one. Graham, I've not seen that one this morning. To be fair, I've not really looked a lot. Brand new Boric force. Right. Need to apologise, Baz. That stuff. So go link for last Sunday. It's anyway. Can someone give him a chat? I know you think somebody would give him a chat. Bernabei, get up. But obviously not at Celtic. Right. It is just the early morning news. We're not staying on too long because people do. I'm already running late this morning. My mind. Let's get some last comment. My mind. Hotel. Go food poisoning. Which you know that weekend. Right. So the updates news this morning is that McAtee to Celtic could happen. It would be a loan deal, but there are about 20 or 30 other clubs in for the player. Rio Hatate has been told to perform better if he wants to get in the team, perform better in training. He said he has been doing that, so it'll be interesting to see if Rio Hatate starts this weekend. I've got a funny feeling that Rio Hatate will start this weekend because I think David Turnbull's still a bit light for the fight up in Aberdeen, and it's going to be a bit of a battle, and I think Rio Hatate might just edge it for that. So will Bernabei be back into the team this weekend? Hopefully, if he's not missed any meetings, he should be back into the squad. So not on my shift, basically, as Brendan Rodgers said, and not on my watch. You're not going to be lazy. You're getting to be lazy at all. Right. The Real Madrid number 2 is valued too high. Well, there you go. Right. That is us done and dusted for this morning's news. Thanks for everyone that's jumped on live. Make sure that you have subscribed to the channel this evening so that we can go live at 1916 Celtic Park time. That is the new time for the lives, 1916. Let's get some comments just before we finish up. The last thing that we need is loan players in midfield. Yes, this is true. No news, nothing to see here. Don't mind that. Yep, that's it. Lauren, you're getting the last comment. Have a great day. See you all tonight, Celtic fans, and have a great day, whatever you're doing, and make sure that you are on the live this evening. So have a great day, Celtic fans, all around the world, and thanks for the guys in Australia and that popped up the show today. It will be a bit late for you to see you, so we'll see you on maybe Monday morning doing a live, or Sunday 6 o'clock. We will be doing it live Sunday 6 o'clock Celtic Park time.
Lit. Roll up to the party, roll up